Good morning, brave adventurers, and welcome back to the quest. I am AmalgamAsh, and this is one of the quests submitted to the 2023 HeroQuest Quest Jam. This is one of the quests submitted to the 2023. This is one of the quests submitted to the 2023 HeroQuest Quest Jam. Be advised that there will be spoilers for the quest in this video. And now onward, brave heroes. Zog's Tomb of the Undead by Chadwick Casadorsten. The necromancer Zog has escaped his tomb and has the power to bring monsters back from the dead. So try to run. It's the only way you might get through this quest. Find Zog and destroy him to stop the undead from coming back to life. The local townsfolk have gathered all their gold together to help you pay you heroes for this quest. So for the most part, Zog's Tomb of the Undead plays out fairly easily. Your heroes will gang up on and possibly bully whatever monster they come across because you generally only come across one or two here or there. And then it dawns on you. All of the undead come back to life after you leave the room. All of the undead are able to move 6 spaces. Every victory you have here is temporary and only serves to encroach a greater threat. Your heroes better quickly realize that the key to winning this is to heed the instructions of the opening text and to run. Not fight, not stay behind and slay the monsters over and over again, but run. Because if they fall, your heroes won't be getting back up. You might not think that a horde of undead constantly chasing you through the catacombs is such a big deal, but you might start to think it's a big deal if you happen to, I don't know, encounter a monster that's a bit stronger than you're prepared to take on. The White Walkers don't stop, they don't sleep, they don't eat, and they don't stop. To quote my friend, Jon Snow. A deceiving quest. Thank you for this awesome quest, Chadwick. Want It Now by Eudochio. While the heroes are resting on a tavern, they receive a message from the far-voiced spell of Mentor. Heroes. The lore tome is acting odd, showing mirrored images of runes and glyphs pointing to the mansion of the gatekeeper at the old city. I need you to investigate the source of this strange behavior and make sure Zargon is not behind it. I usually respect Mentor, but I have to say, duh, Zargon is behind it. Are you ready for this wild ride? I don't think you are. The concept of the parallel or mirrored universe is something that I find extremely interesting, especially in the HeroQuest setting. This particular quest uses a ton of assets from the base game and Mage of the Mirror, as well as monsters from other various expansions to be played. It stops just short of being able to tell the players how to proxy the mirror heroes that appear. That's right, mirror heroes. You see, every room on the board has a mirror counterpart, the left and right halves separated straight down the middle. I would absolutely infer that the mythic tier alt-gendered heroes could be used as the reflections, but it's not explicit. For that reason, and because the quest uses 2 rotating rooms, it sadly has to be disqualified, but that will not stop me from giving it a quick overview. Of particular interest to me is the fact that once you reach this room, you cross through the mirrors in the center. These are the mirrors. But once you cross through, mirror versions of yourselves come out of the mirrors and mimic your every move on the opposite side of the board. This is a really cool mechanic, and I feel it does pave the way for simpler versions of this to be implemented, such that you wouldn't need so many resources to pull it off, and still provide a level of challenge and balance to the gameplay. Speaking of challenge, you're going to find a lot of it in this quest, and I mean a lot. No. I mean a lot. What is this? An epic battle? Or a double of adventurers going to the tavern after this long adventure is over? Find out by playing Eudochio's Want It Now? I'm sorry for the disqualification, Eudochio, but thank you for this awesome quest. Vanished by Marcus Darwith. The Crown Prince has disappeared from the Summer Palace in the south of the kingdom. There is rumored to be a ruined manor house somewhere nearby. Perhaps the prince has sneaked off to explore? If you, brave heroes, can find the prince and return him safely, you shall each be rewarded 200 gold coins. Hurry, he may be in peril. Sometimes you just want to sit and play a simpler quest, something intended for new players. This is that quest. There are only a handful of enemies here, and they're easily dispatched with a party of 4 heroes. In fact, I think any 4 heroes would do, even a party that didn't have the barbarian. Mind you, I think this is a really good thing. It makes the quest accessible and easy to play with kids, or those brand new to the HeroQuest rule set. As a goblin lover myself, I was pleased to see this note. These goblins are dressed in plain gray tunics and unarmed. 1 attack die. Only one will attack. The others fight only if attacked and try to flee up the stairs. If questioned, they will only whimper and say, "We serve." The room appears to be a pantry and is suspiciously well stocked with fresh goods. The quest note for this room reads, "The orcs and mercenary scout fight in coordination. This room seems to have once been an ice house. It has been made into a crude barracks." The notes don't exactly say what fight in coordination means. I'm guessing that interpretation can be left up to Zargon. The center room is always reserved for epic fights like this one, but here, the goblin is wearing a gray tunic and is serving a meal to the others in the room. It will not fight unless attacked. A banner hung on the far wall bears the insignia of the Silver Hand, a mercenary band known for sometimes resorting to brigandry in between hires. The quest note here says to modify all swordsmen in this quest to 3 AD and 4 DD. I don't know if this is something that should have been included at the very beginning of the quest, or if it's sort of a, we realized who these people are, now they appear stronger. The barbarian flips the table on our enemies and we continue exploring the dungeon. It's a secret door. I really like the mercenaries from the Frozen Horror expansion, and I'm always happy to see them included in any quest, whether that is because they are heroes helping our heroes, or they are actually villains in the quest. It's a great use of them. This one ends up being warlock fodder, and we continue deeper into the dungeon. I know it's a very niche, small, and unimportant detail to most, but I also really like when furniture is placed in a room such that it kind of gives the room more maneuverability, like there's more places to go in this room. I also wanted to point out, I really like this detail where furniture is placed not just up against the wall in a room where a bookshelf lends itself to being sort of a partial wall. I like that sort of thing a lot. We found the missing prince. The quest notes here say you can use any tile or miniature you'd like to represent him, and I really like that detail. I won't spoil what happens when you finally get to this room. For now, I'll just say thank you, Marcus, for this awesome quest. Time by Nightmare. Your small party is standing in front of this ancient, half-collapsed temple ruin. It must have been an imposing structure in its prime. Strange activity has been reported lately in the villages surrounding this place. Dead animals, people went missing, talk of dark magic, and all seems to point to these ruins. This is your chance to make a name for yourselves, maybe even get the attention of Mentor himself and enter his services. You just have to solve this little mystery. This ambitious quest is sure to put your party of heroes in a state of confusion. Your heroes will start outside the board at this wooden door. Entering into the corridor, the only thing they find is a mirror. You stare into the mirror, but something seems wrong. There is no reflection of you. Instead of this broken corridor, you see a brightly illuminated hallway. Is this what this place looked like ages ago? If a hero interacts with the mirror, you get blinded by a bright light. And then, the heroes are placed on their marks, according to the map notes. They've been separated in groups of 2. Now the map notes specify a classic party of a barbarian, dwarf, elf, and wizard, but if you're playing with any variant heroes, you'll have to decide which ones should go in which rooms. If I were Zargon, I would try to make sure that the party is at least as balanced. The heroes here still seem to be in the dark, ruined temple, while the heroes here seem to be in a magnificent, opulent temple. Could it be that some of the heroes have traveled through time? This is an ambitious quest because it seeks to copy elements of the board into 2 halves and replicate each half. For example, in this first room encountered by the heroes in Section 1, we see a goblin at the library. In Section 2, this is replicated, although the monsters are replaced with undead versions. The room to the south, we have 2 undead at the table. Meanwhile, back in the past, we have 2 greenskins at that very same table. A hidden door leads into an armory, which then has another trapdoor, and the same holds true in the present. And when your present heroes travel through these trapdoors, you could have sworn to hear your missing companions' voices wandering through this very tunnel. Something seems very odd here. So far, this place looks exactly like the schematics of the temple ruin you studied before coming here, with one exception. It's not in ruin. Are you still in the temple? You decide to grab pen and paper on the table and leave a note. Meanwhile, in the present, dear friends, if you find this note, know this: we are still alive and looking for you. The temple, it looks glorious, exactly as we imagined it to be ages ago. I hope we will find you soon. Signed, the names of the other 2 heroes. This quest does have a particularly awesome end. However, I'll leave that up to you to find. Thank you, Nightmare, for this awesome quest. And also thank you, Nightmare, for this awesome quest. Wait, the Westland Coven. By they stole my name. They say that hags are powerful dread sorceresses who steal the souls of the innocent and corrupt all in their path. Always they require 3 women to form a coven, though women they are no longer. Lately, there have been rumors out of a small farming community called Westland. A young girl has gone missing in the night. 2 hags intend to transform the stolen girl into their 3rd member, establishing a new coven. The 2 hags are Ulsi, a poison brewer, and her sister Astri, a seer. The 2 of them alone are deadly, but should they succeed in completing the coven, they would make a terrible force. Travel to the village of Westland. Save the young woman if you are able before the hags twist her into one of their own. And above all, beware the hags' tricks. The quest notes read that the zombies in this room have a poisonous bite. Each time they make a successful attack, they deal 1 extra body point of damage. I've seen interpretations of poison being implemented in HeroQuest. This is one of the ways that I could support. It's not long before you encounter Ulsi the Hag, represented by an abomination figure. Once Ulsi is defeated, her body vanishes from sight. Searching the room reveals a potion of healing and a heroic brew. The doors to this room are doubled. If one is open, so is the other. As soon as the first hero enters the room, all are immediately affected by the dread spell Tempest, ending their turn. And that's not good, because we have 2 dread warriors in this room, as well as Astri the Hag. Unless the heroes can defeat Astri within their next 2 rounds, she will successfully transform the innocent girl into the 3rd member of the Westland Coven. This actually puts a gargoyle in the room. However, whether you save the girl or defeat the gargoyle, it matters not. This quest is not over, and rather than spoil the rest of it, I'll simply let you experience it for yourself. They stole my name. Thank you for this amazing quest. The Thunder of Doom by Layla, 6 years old. There were 2 villains that came in a castle and destroyed everything. They were the powerfulest villains in the whole world. I hope you do good, my friends. Whatever, this one's gonna be easy enough. Let's just go. It's that overconfidence that's going to get us murdered, you know. Enough bickering or we'll never get through and finish this quest. My sword thirsts for greenskins.
How do you like our goblin ambush?
Oh, I like it just fine.
That was fun. Attack the chair, too.
You know, I take back what I said earlier. It's that attitude that's going to get us murdered.
What's going on in here?
We're just trying to enjoy some reading material. It's... We were already here. We're not part of the raiding party. You can go now.
Okay, I believe you.
The barbarian believes you, but I know darn tootin' well you can't read.
Magic blasts.
That was fun. Okay, maybe it's that attitude that's gonna get us killed.
Good classic, innocent fun. That's what it's all about. And raising the next generation of HeroQuest dungeon masters. What? What do you mean I can't say that word anymore? Dungeon masters. HeroQuest Zorgons. And it's challenging. There's not 1 but 2 bosses working together right here.
You stupid dragon, why do you have to tell everybody where we are?
Well, if you're the most powerfulest villains in the whole world, you won't mind everybody knowing where you are, will ya?
I just want to point out that I love this quest note. This chest will explode and cause each hero in the room to lose 2 BP if opened without disarming it first, like the exploding chests in Minecraft. If the darling warlock hadn't taken out this room of greenskins so quickly, the orc in this room was an orc shaman and could cast summon orcs. There's also a set of 2 daggers that can be found on the bookcase. Yeah, I didn't think you were in it for the reading material. The question is, can our intrepid heroes survive the final battle, fighting the 2 most powerfulest villains in the whole world? You'll have to play this quest for yourself and find out.
Thank you, Layla, for this awesome quest. And maybe next time, put a dragon in it.
Mox was not screwing around when he created the Outpost. In the foothills of the Tarak Mountains, Galen, a charismatic leader, has established an outpost where he is recruiting the local thuggery and shaping them into an army. He has taken the local mayor and his family hostage, free them, and dethrone this would-be bandit king, and you will receive 250 gold to divide amongst you. This quest looked like it would be a bit daunting to set up and get through, but now that I have everything laid out and have taken a much closer look at things, I can see that this is actually a very refreshing take on the HeroQuest formula. There are mercenaries everywhere, paired up, in some cases, with elven warriors and elven archers. It's not very often that we get to fight the mercenaries, and I relish every opportunity I get to poke the little plastic weapons into the plastic slots on the mercenaries. It's actually one of my favorite things to do in HeroQuest, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of tragic that we have to send our mostly human composition of heroes out. Well, I'd say mostly human, 50% human, and the other two are very, very human adjacent races out to slay so many of our fellow brethren in these chaotic, dreadful times. The boss room is strictly badass. We've got 4 mercenaries, 1 in each corner, 2 giant wolves, and Galen posturing proudly next to the throne, prepared for the warriors. He is not going to be taken by surprise in this attack. We've even got a bit of roleplay element, where the heroes are told that there are 3 of 4 torches lit in this shadowy entry. If the players light the unlit torch, well, I guess I'll leave that as a surprise for you when you play the Outpost. There are some extra mechanics here, from a random guard starting his security rounds from room 1 and the guards being able to pass through the doors to get to the hallway if they have not been opened on Zargon's turn, to an orc blacksmith who is wielding a hot hammer and gives 1 additional point of fire damage if a hero is struck. This is really interesting because regularly it's just 1 extra body point of damage if the hero gets hit, but if you are using any sort of roleplay system that utilizes fire damage, then you can take that point of fire damage. A well-done quest in terms of size and balance, and it even has replayability because there's more than 1 ending. Well done, Mox, and thank you for submitting this awesome quest. The Old King's Winding Holdfast by Greg Fairholm. Kilhethor, a king of days gone by, has had his halls overrun by orcs. There are 2 choices: clear out the horde, sword to sword, in the tomb stronghold, or risk the crumbling ruins to kill the leaders. Without their guidance, the others can be handled by the Order of Guardian Knights as they wander out of the labyrinthine lair of the resting king, though some say he has not rested since his death. This is one of those rare quests that has perfect replayability, because at the very beginning of the quest, the first door opened, black or white, prevents the other door from being accessed. Zargon may remove it from the board. The quest notes go on to specify that heroes and monsters cannot pass through any furniture placed on the board. A curse from the Dread Warriors prevents pass-through rock from working in the entire Holdfast. This quest is one of the most intricately designed. Many of the rooms actually have a role to play in the 2 branching paths, such as this room here. If you take the south door and go on hunting the greenskins, you'll only be able to access this side of this room. But if you take the northern door, or I suppose I should say the eastern door, you'll access this room in the back through a secret door, and also leave out of a secret door. Nearly every tile on the board was used in this quest, and there is an abundance of resources that clearly exceeds the limit that anybody can have included with their game of HeroQuest, except you don't use any of the resources down the path that you don't choose. It's an ingenious way of giving a quest replayability, because it's like 2 completely different quests in one. Also, this quest has not 1, but 2 skeletons hiding behind fireplaces. I think that's hilarious and also really cool. Winding Holdfast is not an exaggeration in this quest. This thing winds all over the place. You're going to be going down corridors, tripping over so many of the rooms that you find. There are also a lot of the same letters marking tiles on the board. The quest notes explain that when a certain objective is met, falling rock will occur in all of the spots marked with the letter E. That is a really cool mechanic. It really lends a sense of epic finale to the quest, going one of the routes anyway. I've only built up about half the board. The other half is impossible to make with the limit of doors, but I will leave you to explore that, brave heroes, as you traverse through the Old King's Winding Holdfast. Thank you, Greg, for this amazing set of quests. The Black Dagger, Part 1, The Mystery of Mellow's Keep, by Aaron Carr. A new and urgent threat has arisen. It has been reported that all inhabitants of a small town, Mellow's Keep, on the border of our great kingdom, have disappeared. The only name we have heard in connection to this mystery is the Black Dagger, but that is the name of an ancient, long-dead enemy. We sent several troops ahead of you, but none have yet returned. raising our concern. You are to head to Mellow's Keep immediately, uncover what has happened there, and report back to me with great haste. Good luck, adventurers. We begin in the town of Mellow's Keep, being told exactly where to start, at the door at the edge of the town. I'm fond of opening up and revealing all of the contents of the rooms that you can initially see for these videos, and what you see here is exactly that. All of the rooms and all of the contents within. It makes one wonder, what is lurking in the shadows? The first player who searches for treasure finds a note that reads, "My fearless son, Balthorn, brave as you are, I fear you may have gone to your doom by seeking out the evil villain, the Black Dagger. If by some miracle you return to us, we are hiding safely at the tavern in the middle of town. All the townsfolk seem to have fled, and we are now overrun by hideous monsters. We are too weak to fend them off, but this vial seems to harm them. Take it and come to us before it is too late." The player receives a vial of holy water and 28 gold. When a player searches for secret doors here, Nevin, the innkeeper, cries, "Please don't hurt me! Ah, you are the heroes of Mentor! The Black Dagger has taken over the town, and his sorcerer, Diaberos, has turned all the townspeople into his minions. I watched those hiding with me turn before my very own eyes. Only I am left. I have barricaded the door to the north side of town. The sorcerer is still out there somewhere, so be careful. This vial saved my life. I hope it will now save yours." The player receives a vial of holy water, and all heroes are pushed through the secret door, which is then locked behind them.
Die, heroes. Die! Die!
Can you solve the mystery of Mellow's Keep? Thank you, Aaron, for this awesome quest. The Mystery of Bane Tavern by Craig Leslie. You seek to rest for a while at a nearby tavern. After you have started to consume your food, you begin to feel dizzy. The effects overwhelm you, and you suddenly black out. You wake up in a cell, stripped of everything you had. 3 guards stand by the cell outside, and one begins to open the gate. He orders you remove yourself. The Mystery of Bane Tavern starts with an arena scenario. It is actually on this point I was a bit confused, because there are 2 X marks the spot spaces on the map, and the quest note for the X reads that the heroes start here. However, there are no more than 2. Is this quest only for 2 players, or are we to assume we can place the heroes on the X's and then the additional 2 heroes on 2 more X's? The quest notes then go on to say that 5 corrupt warriors one by one enter the small arena. You must survive the onslaught, take their gear, and escape, and to choose any random hero to represent the corrupt warrior. I'm taking this to mean that we actually fight the warriors one at a time, not that they enter one by one and then we fight them. That's the only way that we'll be able to use any random hero to represent the warrior. Of course, I wish that this had gone on to say that you can use any mini you'd like to represent the warrior, because if you're playing with the base game of HeroQuest, you may not have access to additional heroes. But that's still within the rules of the jam, so we'll continue. The Corrupt Warrior 1, once defeated, drops a shield. Corrupt Warrior 2, once defeated, drops 3 throwing knives and a potion of healing. Corrupt Warrior 3, once defeated, drops leather armor, a helmet, 3 spell scrolls, and a player can take any random 3 spell scrolls from the artifact spell card set. The Corrupt Warrior 4, a magic user, holds 5 chaos and dread spells. Choose any random 5. They wield a staff. They can attack twice. Once they are defeated, they drop a potion of healing. The final Corrupt Warrior, once defeated, drops a potion of strength, a heroic brew, and a potion of healing. Look, I chose an appropriate mini. It's the dwarf. He likes to drink. Upon the defeat of all 5 warriors, worried enemies on the other sides pull a lever to unlock the portcullis. Whoops. Let me just switch to my portcullises. Once these are open, now it's your chance to escape. There is so much more to this quest beyond this single room. You're going to actually use almost the entire board, so after this awesome opening, I would prepare for an extended adventure. I don't want to pick on the quest notes again, but there's actually a picture of the barbarian right about here on this tile. And I'm not sure if that's meant to represent the hero barbarian, or if the barbarian goes there, or if that's the representation of the warriors you have to fight. I don't know. Stuff's not specified. So just interpret it how you will. Sorry to pick on this one so much, but it is definitely valid, qualifies, and thank you very much, Craig, for your awesome quest.